Fox 10 News starts now with breaking news.
Well, good morning and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell. We begin today with breaking news out of Pensacola. Police are investigating a deadly shooting in the downtown area over the weekend, and they are holding a news conference right now. Let's take a listen.
The best.
You can still continue listening into that press conference as we are streaming that right now. But again, that was an update from the Pensacola Police Department and the mayor of Pensacola on the deadly downtown shooting that occurred over the weekend. Several arrests have been made. We're told this was the result of a years-long feud, and the 19-year-old victim in the shooting has been identified. All of that information, including the press conference, will be on our website shortly. Well, also today, the suspect in the Augustine Drive homicide is having a bond hearing right now. BCSO confirming with Fox 10 that a 17-year-old son killed his mom and dad, was stabbed and airlifted to a hospital. Here's a look at the scene just last night. Investigators say they are still trying to find a motive. The teen suspect will be tried as an adult and is facing several charges, including attempted murder and murder. We have crews inside the courtroom, and when we learn more, we will pass it along to you on air and online at fox10tv.com. Well, still to come on Fox 10 Midday, a community is coming together to help clean up after the 4th of July holiday weekend. Stephen Moody will have that story for us. But before we go, Kelly, it is a toasty start to our week.
Oh, it is, Ashlyn. Sticky, steamy, and we are going to be tracking some sea breeze storms. I'll take you through your forecast after the break.
Smart, simple, Stanton.
There's a live look at the Pensacola Beach Cam right now, and notice just a few clouds off in the distance. It is looking bright and beautiful. Waters are slick as glass. That UV forecast today is going to be very high. Burn time is going to be about 10 minutes. So apply that sunscreen and reapply every hour. Use a physical block as well, a hat. But a gorgeous day if you're extending that 4th of July holiday weekend and today and you're off work. Great day to be at the beach. Just keep in mind, we're not ruling out a few splash and dash storms for today. It is going to be sizzling hot. Heat index values are going to be spiking into the triple-digit zone yet again. We've already had some coastal storms kind of skirt along the edge of the shoreline. And now we're tracking some thunderstorms about 100 miles offshore. They're just kind of slowly drifting towards the north and northeast. Right now in downtown Mobile, it is 88 degrees. The heat index at 96. Dew point is rising right now. It's at 73, and we have a west wind coming in at about 8 miles per hour. Check out the satellite and radar. Just a few scattered clouds here and there. Not really tracking any rain action on land. All the thunderstorms currently are offshore, about 100 miles south of Mobile Bay, and they've just kind of been flaring up, slowly drifting towards the northeast, but not very fast. So we are dealing with quite a bit of sunshine, but those clouds will take the edge off the heat, and if a shower finds you, it will be refreshing briefly, and then it's going to feel pretty steamy. It is summer. 11 a.m. 87 degrees for Pensacola. By noon, we're going to go to 88. We're not ruling out a pop-up style shower, and by 2 o'clock, 87 degrees. We will be topping out in the 90s though for Pensacola. And your lunchtime forecast for Mobile, mainly sunny, hot, definitely muggy on this Monday. Upper 80s through your lunch hour, and then we will begin to see less in the way of cloud cover, and those temperatures are going to begin to heat up. Here's a look at the heat index forecast for today. 101 Mobile, same for Lucedale, 104 for Pascagoula, 102 Navarre, and we will be looking at 102 for Crestview and Milton. Your future cast looks like this. This is kind of a long-range model, and notice by around 5 o'clock today as you make your commute home north of I-10 over Escambia, Santa Rosa County, some thunderstorms also over towards Destin. Back in Baldwin County, Fairhope, as well as Daphne getting in on some thunderstorms. And then by around tomorrow morning, more coastal storms will begin to flare up and just kind of fade out. Our pattern will be unsettled today and tomorrow. Our atmosphere pretty energized due to the fact that we have all this humidity in place. We'd have a trough kind of digging in as well, and a front that's beginning to slip its way southward that's helping to trigger these thunderstorms. So tomorrow, we're going to go with the 40% chance of wet weather, and we'll begin to see that action tomorrow tomorrow afternoon. Mobile, Baldwin County, and over downtown Mobile tomorrow afternoon. And then by Wednesday, high pressure is going to begin to build in. And it's not going to be just for Wednesday, but for Thursday and Friday as well. So our temperatures could be trending a little bit hotter later into the week and as we take you into the weekend. So heat index over the next 5 days to 7 days, averaging around 101 today, but going to about 105 Tuesday, Wednesday. And it looks like by the weekend around 104 to 105 as well. UV forecast for today is going to be very high. Again, burn time at about 10 to 15 minutes today, tomorrow 10 minutes, and very high again on Wednesday. We will keep a low risk of rip currents in place today through Wednesday, and I think really all the way through the end of the work week. We are going to have that low risk of rip currents, and in the surf zone, the waves are going to average around a foot or less. Here's a look right now at your 7-day forecast, and we are going to be looking at highs pretty much holding in the low 90s. We could see more mid-90s by the end of the week, with wake-up temperatures holding in the mid-70s.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Well, this past weekend, we honored America's 250th birthday, and today the Bay Area Women's Coalition is continuing the celebration. They're doing so by helping to clean the community. It's all happening in Trinity Gardens, and Fox 10's Stephen Moody has much more.
I can't think of a better way to cap off a successful 4th of July weekend than by helping to clean up the community, and that's what one group in Trinity Gardens is doing this week. The Bay Area Women's Coalition is hosting a neighborhood cleanup and recycling event this week at the Dodge Community Center on Banks Avenue. It runs Monday and Tuesday from 8 in the morning until 1 p.m. Volunteers of all ages can help pick up trash and sort recycling, with a goal of celebrating America's 250th birthday by making local streets cleaner and safer. And they're staying hydrated in the heat to make it happen.
They feel more at ease coming into Trinity Gardens community because we try to keep it clean, and we want all our neighbors to know that we love our community and we want it to be clean.
No matter what you want to do, you're going to do it hot, cold, it don't matter. You know what I mean? If you're going on a trip, I don't care how you at the beach, you hot. So why not come out and clean up, man? You know, your neighborhood means a lot. That speaks for you. I went to Florida, and I was riding down the interstates. I said, oh, man, these interstates are clean. But then I look at some out, I be saying, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? You know the difference, man. That people come and see you cleaning up, make them want to clean up.
And it takes a team effort. Volunteers are also working to remove firework debris and litter.
I am so excited. We have advertised on Facebook, social media, knocked doors and doors, and I'm so excited. We have other people from other communities that's coming in to help clean up our community, and I'm just so excited and delighted that they are coming.
Organizers say it's a chance to love your community and to teach kids about giving back.
Growing up, I really wasn't thinking about it. But see, now when you got grown men, I want other kids to know. I want them to grow up better than me. You want your kids better than you, so that's what I want. So I want them to know it's good to, we come out and clean up. I want a lot of my grandkids to be down here in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They, everybody can team up to clean up. That's the biggest thing about it.
And they'll continue the cleanup tomorrow. Reporting here in Trinity Gardens, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Stephen, thank you. A wonderful initiative there this morning. Our time 11:24 now, and we have a traffic alert to warn you about in the Foley area. City officials tell us access from Highway 59 to the private roadway between the Tom Thumb and Whataburger is now closed. Officials say it's due to deteriorating pavement conditions, and they say this stretch of roadway will remain closed until the property owner makes the necessary repairs. Businesses in the area remain open and can be accessed through their alternate entrances. And a heads up now, if you drive through Midtown Mobile this week, Mobile Street between Spring Hill Avenue and University Hospital Drive will have intermittent closures today through Thursday. Alabama Power is installing new utility poles in that area. You can expect 1 to 2 hour closures between 8:30 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon each day. Plan other routes if you travel through that area during these hours.
The U.S. gets its top scorer back for the round of 16, but now Belgium is appealing the controversial decision. I'm Ashley Dvorkin in Seattle with the latest on tonight's match.
The U.S. men's national team waits on a red card appeal that could change tonight's game. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with more.
The top scorer for the U.S. has been cleared to play in the round of 16, but now there's an argument unfolding. On the bus to their final training session in Seattle, the American men learned striker Flo Balogun's red card suspension had been lifted in time for tonight's round of 16 game against Belgium. But now the Belgian Soccer Federation has been allowed to appeal that decision.
We were punished enough against Bosnia-Herzegovina to play with 10 men, 30 minutes.
Fox News confirms FIFA's judicial body suspended the one-game ban after President Trump called the organization's president asking for the red card to be reviewed. A member of FIFA's appeals committee will now hear the case, and a final decision could be made before kickoff.
It's one thing to penalize somebody for the game, but how do you penalize them for a game that hasn't been played yet?
Earlier this year, FIFA deferred bans for multiple international players ahead of their World Cup openers. But those decisions rarely happen during the tournament, and other coaches are pushing back.
What about the next red card? Is there going to be some committee somewhere that is going to take that card away?
Still, no matter who takes the pitch for the U.S., Seattle says it's ready to host its final match.
It's the vibe, it's the feeling, it's the hope that we brought to the community.
If the U.S. wins tonight, it will be the second team in the country's history to make the quarterfinals. In Seattle, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Yeah, it's a big night tonight, and if you're looking for a great atmosphere to watch the game, here's a look at just some of the big watch parties in our area. In Mobile County, The Outsider, O'Daly's, Dave & Buster's, Fairhope Brewing, Mobile, and in Baldwin County, the city of Daphne, Lot Park, Fairhope Brewing, Fairhope Soccer Complex, and Big Beach Brewing Company. So lots of places to check out, but that's not all. In Pensacola, the 200 South Tap House is hosting, Perfect Plain Brewing Company, O'Reilly's Irish Pub, and again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can find many more watch parties viewers have let us know about on fox10tv.com. Simply click on the sports tab and you'll see the full story there.
And it's going to be a great afternoon to get that cat nap in, especially if you've already been outside. It is sticky. Here's a look at the forecast. 89 degrees at noon. We'll see some upper 80s with a few scattered showers around. And check out Mousy the kitten. She'll be getting in her cat nap today. And we want to thank Kaylin Peavy for that cute picture.
Win big. Call Long and Long. Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back. It's time now for your half-hour headlines. First today, a sad story from Mississippi as the search continues this morning for a teen reported missing from Horn Island. Officials say they found a body this morning on the northwest end of Horn Island, but have yet to identify who it is. Authorities say 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells was last seen Saturday afternoon around 3 p.m. Jackson County Sheriff's Marine Patrol, the Department of Marine Resources, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the United Cajun Navy were canvassing the entire island. We will bring you updates as they become available. In the meantime, if you have opinions about roads, bridges, or public transit in South Alabama, the state wants to hear from you. The Alabama Department of Transportation is hosting a public meeting tonight in Mobile, asking residents to weigh in on the state's long-range transportation plan through the year 2050. The plan guides how transportation dollars are spent across the state, covering everything from highway safety and hurricane evacuation routes to freight, transit, and even bicycle paths. The meeting is an open house format happening tonight from 5 to 7 p.m. at the AlDOT Southwest Region Training Building that's located on I-65 West Service Road North in Mobile. And finally, some good news today for Baldwin County families heading into the next school year. Baldwin County Public Schools Schools announcing that all students will again receive free breakfast and lunch for the 2026-2027 school year. The district is continuing its participation in the Community Eligibility Provision, a federal program that covers meal costs for all enrolled students at no charge. And parents, you do not need to fill out any applications. Meals will follow USDA nutritional guidelines. Parents with any questions can contact Child Nutrition Program Director. It's 11:35 and CVS is recalling one of its products over child safety concerns. Here's what you need to know. The pharmacy is recalling its CVS Health brand medicated hemorrhoidal wipes. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the product contains lidocaine and requires child-resistant packaging. The agency says the wipes could cause severe illness or death if ingested by small children. The packages have a CVS Health logo on them along with a yellow heart. Rapid pain relief and medicated hemorrhoidal wipes are printed on the front of the packets and on the box, so check to see if you have them.
Here's a live look from our Fairhope camera, and you can see right now over the pier, things are looking nice and smooth. Skies are looking bright. You can see that flag just barely blowing in the breeze. Right now, the wind is coming in from the south at about 5 miles per hour there, and looks like it's going to be a beautiful day along our stretch of the Gulf Coast if you're kind of continuing into that holiday vacay from the 4th of July. Meanwhile, here's a look at our Eastern Shore Toyota camera quad view, and you can see right now over Orange Beach, it looks great here. Just a few high-thin clouds. Waters are looking nice and slick where the Bayway meets the Causeway. We're dealing with a brighter sky than it was a few hours ago. A lot of that cloud cover has shifted out. Downtown Mobile looks fantastic, and you can see over Biloxi Bay and D'Iberville, no problems. It's definitely going to be a sticky and steamy day. Typical July weather. Heat index values are going to be surging into the triple-digit zone for almost everybody today, and we do expect some sea breeze storms to spark during the heart of the afternoon, not just today, but Tuesday as well. So I think the first half of this work week is going to be a little bit wetter than the second half of the work week, which means heat's going to be building as the week progresses. Meanwhile, there's a look at the satellite and radar at this hour. We do have a few scattered clouds around. All the rain action and storm action is offshore. We did have some thunderstorms this morning that were just kind of skirting right along the water's edge, right at the coastline, and now those storms are about 100 to 75 miles offshore. They're just kind of flaring up, barely drifting towards the north and east, and we could see a few of these storms a little bit later today, and just those random pop-up style storms along the sea breeze. Check out the water vapor loop. We have this deep trough digging in. We also have a front off to our north and east. It's going to continue to just slowly make its way southward. It's going to tap in all the saturated air you can see here on the water vapor loop and help spark those afternoon showers, not just today, but tomorrow as well. So listen up for thunder because some storms could contain lightning. Take a look at how muggy it is right now. Dew points are in the mid-70s today, tomorrow. We go into the miserable category on Wednesday with upper 70s, mid-70s Thursday, some upper 70s as we wrap up the week on Friday. Over the next 10 hours in Pensacola, notice we're going to be flirting with 90 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. And then we will see more of a southwest wind coming in at about 10 miles per hour a little bit later today. And that will continue to transport that moisture in from the Gulf. And then those numbers will be slipping into the mid 80s later tonight. So we're really not going to be looking at much of a break in the heat even during the overnight hours. And for Mobile, we're going to 90 degrees at lunchtime in just a few moments. And then we will see our temperatures get knocked down into the upper 80s a little bit later today as those clouds begin to drift across the area. Your forecast high for today is going to go to 92 Mobile, 90 for Pensacola, some upper 80s for Molino, 90 for Atmore. But the real deal, what it feels like, it's going to feel very oppressive out there. 101 Mobile, same for Pensacola, 102 for Navarre and Crestview. And right now it looks like we're going to go to 102 for Fairhope. Rain chances for today, 30%, 40% Tuesday, isolated action Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and typical summertime storms coming into play for your weekend, so plan accordingly. So we will be looking at those storms firing up at around 5 o'clock. They'll lose a little bit of their energy once we lose the daytime heating, but it looks like a few more storms will develop tomorrow morning. 7-day forecast shows highs going to hold in the low to mid 90s with wake-up temperatures pretty much hovering in the mid 70s.
Peace talks between the U.S. and Iran are on pause this week for the multi-day funeral for Iran's slain supreme leader, giving President Trump time to focus on the NATO summit in Turkey. Fox's Rebecca Castor has the story from Washington.
Chanting death to America, death to Israel. Hundreds of thousands of mourners gathered in the streets of Tehran Monday to honor the country's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed at an airstrike at the start of the war.
We are here to show that his path will continue, and every single one of these people will continue down his path with clenched fists, and soon we will certainly avenge his death against the U.S. and Israel.
Peace talks are currently on hold while the country mourns, but the large turnout of pro-regime supporters could empower Iranian negotiators to dig in their heels and go back on some of their concessions, especially on their nuclear program.
It's not by accident. On those streets, they're chanting death to Israel, death to America. I don't think they've changed one iota.
The next round of peace talks is expected to begin this weekend, most likely in Pakistan. Until then, President Trump is focused on NATO and heads to Turkey tonight for its annual summit, where he's expected to continue to berate European allies for not doing more to support the U.S. in its fight to keep Iran from getting a nuclear weapon.
NATO's lack of clear support was a really low blow to the U.S. So President Trump is going to be there with some very tough love for NATO, and this is a great chance for them to show that they want to move forward.
And the clock is still ticking for Iran to make a final nuclear deal. There's only 41 days left in the current ceasefire. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Meanwhile, relentless waves of Russian missile and drone strikes on Ukraine's capital overnight. At least a dozen killed and many more wounded as emergency workers continue to search for survivors. This coming just days after a Russian attack killed 31 on Thursday. As the war drags on, attempts at peace talks have largely been abandoned. The bloodshed reigniting pleas from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for more support from the West.
We must put pressure on Russia so that there is peace. Ukraine has already provided all the proposals, all the diplomatic options.
Zelensky will seek help from allies at a critical NATO summit this week in Turkey, where he's expected to meet face-to-face with President Trump. 11:43 now, still to come on Fox 10 Midday. As first-time college students are preparing to arrive for their first semester, many of them are applying for scholarships. But how do you know if they are legit? Find out what to look for so you don't get scammed next and make ends meet. Every year, several thousand students and parents are defrauded by scholarship scams. Unfortunately, it is on the rise with the ease now to create apps and websites with AI that look really convincing. Don G has this warning from a scholarship expert who wants to help protect your dream of college and make ends meet.
You've applied to college, you've been accepted to college. Now you have to pay for college. For many students and families, this is the first big test.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers out there.
Jennifer Finetti is a college finance expert with Scholarship Owl, a personalized scholarship matching and management service tool. Finetti says those scammers have even found a way to snatch the funds and personal data away from students scrambling to pay for that dream of going to college.
So students tend to be a little bit more desperate for money for college. Maybe they don't catch those red flags that they might see if they weren't a little bit anxious about how they're going to pay for school.
Turn that desperation into eagle-eyed attention and slow down. Some red flags possibly pointing to a scholarship scam.
Anytime you hear somebody say you're guaranteed to win, there is no way that any kind of legitimate scholarship has any sort of guarantee that you can win. and you can't find a privacy policy, that's probably also another scholarship website that you might want to avoid.
Legitimate scholarship providers usually operate websites ending in .org, .gov, or .edu. Always search the name of the organization online to check for verified reviews or scam warnings. Look for a working phone number and look for a physical address.
There'll be information about a scholarship and the student can't remember if they applied to it or not, but it says that they won, so they click the link and all of a sudden now that phishing scheme, now they have access to that student's computer.
Spokesman Review cites 63% of Gen Z students have fallen victim to financial fraud, and of those who did, just over half actually lost money.
It is important that students and parents be vigilant about this and to make sure that when they're looking for scholarships for college that they use credible sources. If you are concerned that you have fallen for one of these scams, and especially if you've clicked a link or if you've given personal information to a scholarship provider or someone who claims to be a scholarship provider, you can contact your bank right away.
I would also suggest you reach out to the Federal Trade Commission. Okay, here we go with a few more red flags. Upfront fees or processing fees should cause you pause. It's free to apply for a real scholarship. If the scholarship provider is pushy or reluctant to answer questions or give details, that red flag is waving. And last, look for mistakes, poor grammar, or generic information. Helping you make ends meet, I'm Dawn G.
All right, some great tips there. I know we're talking about the school year, but Kelly, still summertime, definitely feeling like it outside.
Oh, it does. A typical summertime day. Heat index values in the triple-digit zone. A live look from the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. There's boats going out there. Waters are looking smooth. We do have some changes, though, in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know what those are right after the break.
Welcome back. A small plane flying over New York City's East River had a close call in the air and then an unexpected touchdown in the water. Jeremy Roth has this wild story in today's Take a Look at This.
Party attire, mayday, mayday, mayday. The plane down on the water.
Tense moments over the airwaves after a seaplane loaded with passengers made a hard landing in New York City's East River. Just moments before, video captured the small plane coming startlingly close to an NYPD chopper in the air. And moments later, video from inside the plane showed the jarring landing as it came down in the water between Manhattan and Brooklyn, where officials quickly responded.
Two boats approaching. Looks like the pilot is okay. I can't tell if there's any more passengers.
The FDNY says a total of 8 people were helped off the plane. 2 reportedly suffered minor injuries. It's unclear what led to the hard landing, but the FAA says it caused a wing strut to snap. Another unsettling exchange over the airways captured the moment a Delta flight inbound to Chicago was reportedly struck by a firework on July 4th.
Tower, we just had a firework hit our plane. We're just hoping it was just the mortar that went off underneath, but definitely felt the big bang.
Delta said the plane, which was inbound from Atlanta, landed safely with no reported injuries. Air traffic controllers said there had been multiple reports of similar incidents and that local officials had been notified. No word on if the incident was the result of fireworks foul play or just 4th of July friendly fire, but the FAA is investigating. Finally, one last trip ended not with a bang, but a very big splash as locals in Hawaii gave a moonlit hero's welcome to rower Kelsey Fendler, who completed a 2,400-mile rowing trip from California to Honolulu. Fendler completed the journey in just 43 days, which, if confirmed, would make her a new world record holder. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Oh, yeah, glad she made it home safely. I was on the edge of my seat watching this story over the past few weeks on social media.
Yes.
Could never do it. So props to her.
Oh, I know. And I love being out on the water, but no, I'm with you. That's too long of a stretch for me to be on the water.
Being in the water would feel good today, though.
It would feel great. You know what? In fact, the risk of rip currents, by the way, across the Panhandle just got upgraded to moderate. But in our southwest Alabama beaches, Dauphin Island, Gulf Shore, still low risk. But take a look right now at the satellite and radar. We are looking at get some scattered clouds. All the rain action right now at this lunch hour, about 75 miles to 100 miles offshore, kind of slowly drifting towards the north, not very fast. I think any showers and storms that we get this afternoon will be primarily due to the sea breeze and will be the kind that can just pop up anywhere. Take a look at the heat index values this afternoon. We're going to go to 101 Mobile, same for Pensacola, 102 Fairhope, as well as Crestview, 101 for Destin. And rain chances for today will be at about 30%, 40% for your Tuesday, and then we're going to drop it down to isolated action Wednesday, Thursday. We're back to that typical pattern with the 30 to 40% chance that wet weather finds you Friday into the upcoming weekend. All right, here's a look at the futurecast, and we stop the clock around 5 o'clock. Thunderstorms begin to spark near Fairhope, also north of I-10 across the Panhandle, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa County, also a few storms in northern Baldwin County. And then by around 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, those coastal storms begin to flare up yet again. And some of these storms will contain some lightning as well as some gusty winds and downpours. And then tomorrow afternoon, some thunderstorms begin to drive in from the west for Jackson County, Mobile County. So keep that in mind tomorrow afternoon if you have those outdoor plans. All right, here's a look right now at your 7-day forecast. High temperatures going to be topping out in the low 90s today. Could bump up those temperatures later in the week. Lows primarily in the mid 70s.
Okay, Kelly, thanks for that update there. You're doing great on your debut day. It's been so much fun with you.
Thank you.
Kelly is incredible. We're so excited to have her on the show. But we will see you on Midday News Brief on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream at noon.